Hi there, it's Marcus from 4POS. Just doing a video on how to do cooking messages or prep instructions or whatever you want to call the thing. Um, this is an instruction that you will add to a product. As you can see on the screen, what I have is 500 gram rump, for instance. So on rump, I would like to ask all the prep instructions like meat prep, blue rare, medium rare, etc., etc. And then once that is selected, I want to do starches as well. And my starch options are chips, rice, veg, or baked potato. And when they select baked potato, I also wanted to ask whether it will be butter, sour cream, or sour cream and butter. So those are just an example. Let us just get out of here, then I'll show you how it looks on the touchscreen system. Okay, so on my touchscreen system, once I've added a table or did a cash sale or whatever, however you want to do it, if I go to main courses, I've got my 500 gram rump, and it will prompt me then for my prep instructions, as you can see at the top there, where the mouse is moving, meat prep, blue rare, whatever the case may be. And let's just say I'll do it a rare option. And then I want either chips, rice, veg, or baked potato. It all comes in the same color. If I select baked potato, it will say butter, sour cream, or sour cream and butter. All right. And when you accept that, that will become the order, and that's how it will print in the kitchen. Kitchen printing is handled in a different video. Okay. So I'm just going to go back in my back office, main stock by detail, and let's go and look for something called mayo. All right. So there's my toasted chicken mayo. I want to go to my messaging, and there is a bread type there already, and I can do a selection of white and brown. Alright, so let's just test it on the touchscreen as well. Toasted, you want white or brown. Now let's assume for the moment you want to add an option for rye, for instance. Because the message already is there, I can just go down to my bread types over there, and I can click on bread type, and I can say new child, and I can add rye. Okay. Now the rye will not be updated automatically to the bread types over here, so I'm going to deallocate it, in other words remove it, and then allocate it again. Alright, and as you can see, my bread type now would be white, brown, or rye. And again, if I just want to do it on the toasted chicken mayo, let's just do the other one as well so I can show you both. Toasted cheese, same option. Messaging, bread type is there, but it's correct now. All right, good. And so you obviously only have to update it once. I'm just going to do an update. Okay, so on the touchscreen, it's important that you log out so that the update can come through. If I click on, oh, here we go, you just saw that flashing quickly. If I click on point of sale now, whatever, you'll see my instruction is 20830, which will then be the equivalent of my controller. Let me just double check the controller over here. As you can see at the top there, 20830 instruction number. Alright, so let's just add that toasted sandwich to that same table of mine. So I'm going to say add transaction. Let's go to our sandwiches, and I'll do a toasted chicken mayo, and I've got an option now for white, brown, or rye. Now obviously you can do the same for anything. In other words, you can do toasted bacon and egg, crispy bacon, soft egg, sunny side up, whatever you want to call it, or hard egg, or whatever the case may be. Then in our back office, we have many different options. Let's just go back to our 500 gram rump again, and just as items, look at the different messaging. Now you'll see here that we've done baked potato will be set up typically like that. The bread types was there. Chicken preps, you can go and do, say, lemon herb, mild peri peri, hot peri peri, chips combo. We'll go with a Fanta can, and in this case you can then say that this Fanta can is actually a stock item, which means that it must be deducted from our stock, as well as charging an additional price if you choose to. Okay, and you can have a product that says there's an extra cold drink in there, and prompt for the type of cold drink, same concept. You can add it from a stock item, so it will not only deduct a stock item called cold drink, but it will specifically say Sprite, Fanta, Coke, whatever the case may be. And then glass type, for instance, here you'll see we haven't got any children. Some people like different types of glasses. You might add a glass type and say short glass. All right, and you might say long glass or tall glass. All right, and so forth and so forth. You can really go and play around or go to town with this thing. And if you do the preps easier, it makes it so much easier for the barman or for the chef then to prepare the meal the way that the customer wants. For instance, on salads, no dressing on the side, no garlic, no tomato, no onion, no cheese, no whatever the case may be. Okay, so you can really go and do all sorts of funny things. We helped a customer here, argument's sake, in a shoe repair store. Okay, they've got a shoe repair, only fix the heel, only fix the toe, fix the strap. In other words, instruction what needs to be done. Now you can do the same concept for people that bake cakes. They want a chocolate cake. Well, we want a chocolate cake with white icing sugar, or with jam or whatever. I mean, I'm not a cake person. I'm not a specialist. So, but you can really let your mind run with the possibilities. And of course, as you can see now on this item, you can do recipe upon recipe. Oh, sorry, cooking message upon cooking message. So you can say, if they select this option, then what has to happen? And then it will literally run down from the top down. So you can also allocate the sequence of events. In other words, what must be prompted. So for example, you can also use it for suggestive selling. So you can go and say, fine, if they order item A, then you need to prompt them and say, would you not like to add item B in there? Or more practical, you've ordered a fed cook, would you like that with mince or chips or bologna or butter or whatever, or just plain chips, salt and vinegar? Do you want salt? Do you want vinegar? Do you want salt and vinegar? Do you want our special peri peri sauce added onto that? And again, any of those items could be a cost item as well. In other words, you charge additional or extra money for that. All right. So that's what I'm saying. Suggestive selling. If you go to McDonald's, would you like to double it up? Do you want a Coke with that? Etc. etc. So you go in there for the £5 meal or whatever McDonald's costs these days. Sorry, I don't eat the stuff, but as soon as you've ordered it, then they will then add on all these other different items, and eventually you walk out with a £20 meal rather than a £5 meal, or whatever the case may be. But I think you get the gist of it. All right, so you can do also lots of other things as well. Swap with. In other words, you can create swaps and say swap, argument's sake, a fish product or a seafood product with something else. Swap with prawn, swap with calamari, swap with squid. Obviously, you'll set it up clever in the way that you'll say, fine, I'm only swapping veg for veg. In other words, the customer says they don't want avo or pineapple, they can then swap it for something of similar cost. You don't want to go and say, fine, extra, they can take the tomato off, but they can add avo. Just the cost is too expensive. But you get the idea. All right, enjoy.